Hello guys, it's me Karthik. Hope you guys are doing really good. So, in this playlist, we are going to implement an application end to end. Okay, so this is how the application goes. So, I'll be making some 5 to 6 videos on this so that we'll cover completely from beginning. Starting a project to deploying it into the Azure cloud. Okay, so this is about the design part. So I have a one web page where I will have a form like this. Okay, you will have a enter pin code as an input box, and you have two options: submit and reset. Okay, this is our step one. Okay, then when user clicks on the submit, then what it will do, it needs to fetch all the information related to that pin code, like country, something like area, location, all those things, and we are going to display that as a tabular format. Okay, this second step, this tabular format will not be available in the beginning step because we have not entered a pin code. Once you enter the pin code and click on submit, only it should available. Okay, and there's an option to the reset button, right? So when a user clicks on reset, then the pin code should automatically erased. That means the value should be set to null, and this table should disappear as well. Okay, that's a third step we are going to do. And the fourth step here is like when a user enter invalid characters. Usually pin code will be in numbers, right? So let's say user enter some special characters or some alphabets, then it should draw a error message like you have entered a invalid characters, like that some pop-up should come. That also we will try to handle it. This is all about in a design and a high level design. If I go to the small individual level design, I could add some few points like when I click on a submit button, and it will take some time for to invoke a API and get the results back and display it, right? In the meantime, we should load, we should have a message like loading, some sort of a message. This is a low level sort of design also we will try to handle. Okay, as it is a very learning perspective, so we will try to add as many as possible. Okay, and if I go to the implementation side, okay, so here we have the front end application and the backend API. Backend API is actually hosted in the Google itself. We are going to use a postal API, guys. Yep, something like this. We have a postal API. Okay, if you see here, this is my postal API, and this is a response we are getting here. You could see here, right? So this data we are going to display as part of the tabular format that you could see here. That you could see here. Here we will try to display that tabular format. Okay. So for this purpose, we don't need any backend languages. Currently, we are only handling with the front end, and in near future, we will see where we can add backend as well. And there were a couple of ideas I have on those lines as well. So if I go to the implementation point of view, in my previous video, where I have implemented a random jokes, application. That's a small application where I started off with a React where I have not explained much of concepts. I simply went on to create a application using component, state, and all. But here we will try to try to make sure we have maintained a granularity and also explain small React concepts as well, like how we can create a props, how we can pass on the data from one component to other component, how we can hit a backend API, get the response, how we can send it to the table data. If there is some error message is happening, how we can load that as a prompt, and how we can deploy it in Azure environment. Then we'll try to clean that almost 40 to 50% of this is new to me. Even I need to learn, do some research, and try to explain. But yeah, that's okay. That is why we are doing. Okay. So on a high level, what I'm trying to do is, as I mentioned, I'm going to have a granularity. So this is my app.js in my React project. I hope you guys know a little bit of React. If not, we will try to open Visual Studio Code and show you something. Okay, so basically React is a set of components together, where it is easy for us to uh, if you see here, once the my React project is started, so this is my random jokes. I don't know how all this happened came here, but that's okay. Okay, this is my app.js. This is my a pretty bigger, I mean, this is a starting point of the application. Okay, so from here on, we will try to create different components to handle different scenarios, so that we will maintain the granularity. I know I can do everything in app.js as well, but that's not good, and we should not do that. As I know, developer, it's our responsibility to develop a loosely coupled code, right? So that's why we'll maintain different components like input component, the one component. This thing is a one component. From there, we'll get the pin code, right? This pin code we'll get, right? Uh, so when I click on submit in a low level, what should happen? It should from there, it should go to the app.js parent component, and parent component should send it to the API implementation component. Okay. And once we get the response from the API, we should send it back to the parent component, and that should send it to the table results component. And if there is some error message, and we have a separate component to show the error message as well. These are the components that I am planning to implement now, but there could be few other components I might have to add, depends on the situation. Okay, and I'm trying to deploy this into the Azure environment. Then I'll remove it because I have only 1 year sample thing I have taken. I just recently signed up, so I wanted to explore that side as well. Yeah, so this is about the design point, and I'll be making some 5 to 6 videos to cover up all of them, like how we can create a component, how we can pass on the data, how we can hit the APIs. So all those things, please do watch this space. 5 to 6 videos will cover up everything. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. It's me, Karthik, signing off.